Gemini, this is your tarot spread for the month of May, coming from the mountains of Java. Central card there, you're searching for something creative. I think we all are. These are troubling times. Many of us are looking for creative solutions. And I'm pretty certain it was Leo this month had this card, maybe not in that same position. But I saw it, even though it seems like a wonderful thing to be doing, I saw it somewhat negatively, and that is that it's still an attempt to control the environment rather than submit. There is other evidence of you attempting to control things here. I don't know if that's the right interpretation now, but it just sounds that to me. In the past, in the recent past, we have the King of Cups, King of Love, somebody that's in control of his emotions and understands those of others. Maybe a bit of a fool for love, though. And right now, we're going through a judgment. And this is a divine judgment, a day of judgment. This is karma, if you like. Do you know, I've got a feeling that it's somewhat against you. And there's nothing to worry about, because these things are meant to be, if they're for you to learn, So I don't want to make a big play on the fact that I feel it's against you. And things will work out. In the future, it sees you planning something quite radical, such as a move overseas. Well, you've been planning something quite radical for a long time, haven't you, Gemini? I feel for you that it's not really happened yet. Some information is going to come to you. Well, you're going to be seeking out this information. But some information is going to come to you that makes you feel like you have more command over your environment. And this is what I mean about the controlling. What would change things is you being very much blessed, but particularly in terms of materialistic things. So if you could simply be contented in what you had, rather than seeking things out and trying to control things, I think paradoxically you get what you wanted. But no, you get this information, and as a result of this information, you're manifesting now. You're trying to manifest your way through to control the environment. And the environment right now is very uncontrollable. I'm not certain that I put the right slant on all this, but stay with me and see if I have. Clearly very important to you, Gemini, is you seeking out some sort of a creative solution. And normally I'd say that's a wonderful thing to be doing. But we are in times of such profound change that we cannot really interpret things. And I worry that even creative solutions is an attempt at control. And there's many indications here that that's just what you're trying to do. It's admirable that you see chaos and seek order. But as I say, God, Allah, the universe, is running away in directions that none of us can really totally foresee. And any attempt at control, I see somewhat negatively. I'm not saying you're going to come a cropper as a result of it, but I'm trying to advise you on how maybe better to steer through all this turmoil. In the recent past, we have the King of Cups. And now, this is the King of Love, and we know you're a very loving soul, Gemini. We know that. And this is you, the King of Cups. You know, you're very loving. Got command of your emotions and an understanding of the emotions of others. I mean, you're nothing like, well, this is nothing like as bad as the Knight of Cups, but he can be a bit of a fool for love. And I think it's been your heart, you might say, has let you down. I don't want to put it that strongly, because following your heart is no bad thing. But I wonder if you've followed your heart so much that you're now determined to see something through, that the universe is really saying, maybe you should think again. I'm not sure. Now, I know you've been saying to yourself, and still are saying to yourself, why aren't things going as planned? Why are things so difficult? And believe me, everything is so difficult in the world for all of us. Everything is shifting sands, you know. The orange president, you know, these tariffs. I mean, were they simply about him and his mates short in the stock market? Probably that's all they are. But, you know, they've caused havoc in the lives of most of the people in the world. You know, even as something as simple as my pension funds have dropped. And, you know, that's money that he and his mates have stolen from my retirement, you know. And the fact that things aren't going as you planned, it's happening to all of us. But I believe that it's karmic. And you might be saying, well, hang on a minute, I've led a good life. Why is it karmic? Well, I don't believe in karma. You know, for goodness sake, I'm a Muslim. I don't believe in karma in the same way as Tibetan Buddhists, for example, do. But the universe does seek balance. And the universe has no concept of time as we do. So therefore, often these karmic balances can occur from previous generations. It can be ancestral karma. And I believe that's what you're facing right now. It might not be against you. I mean, it could be karma in your favour, but I've got the feeling that we're getting to the bottom of why you're having so many problems. And you've got to get through this ancestral karma, because it'll keep coming back to bite you. The future sees you considering your options, sort of looking at quite radical things, maybe moving overseas. And of course you've been doing that for quite a long time, haven't you? And it's that you've been thwarted in. Does that mean that you've overcome the ancestral karma? I'm not certain it does. I'm not certain it does, because this is still thinking about it, you know. Still considering your options. I feel for you. I mean, what I would say is most of the people in the world today, or not most, but a large proportion of people have a great interest in moving to another country. And of course I did that some 12 years ago. And I couldn't advise anybody to repeat what I've done. That's not to say I regret it. That's not to say I would move back to the UK. No, but it's not something to be taken lightly at all. And, you know, it's got its pros and it's certainly got its cons. The largest problem is really what will happen from particularly government and services in the UK. You'll eventually find it very difficult to deal with anybody back in your home country. Now, you know, you might not be thinking of moving overseas, but it's something radical like that, and it does require an awful lot of thought. You're going actively seeking information, actively trying to understand the world, understand what's happening to you, I think. Maybe me having said to you that this is ancestral karma, you're even now going to try and find out what that ancestral karma is. You can do that via meditation. It'll take a long time, a very long time. You need immense patience. You need understanding. But it is possible. I wonder if that's what you're looking for, and therefore I should be more positive about the changes and the outcome to you. Yeah, that's interesting. Now, I've said that you're somebody that's more led by the heart than the head. So maybe you'll be able to appreciate this. There's a less direct route to what you want to achieve, but I think one that will actually be more successful. And that is to appreciate what you've got, appreciate your blessings. Instead of trying to control the environment and manufacture this move or whatever it is that you're trying to do that's quite radical, to be contented in what you have and to show that appreciation by thanking, whether you call it the universe, God, Allah, your ancestors, whatever, thanking them for all that you've had. And in doing so, you'll raise your vibrations and you will receive more of it. And paradoxically, that more could include the very radical plans that I'm sort of suggesting you forget about here. So it's an alternative way, and I think one that would work better. Whether or not you feel you're able to do that, I don't know. Now, I've said that, you're probably going to be seeking the information rather than following your heart, as I've suggested. And if you do so, I think you'll come to the realization that a manifesting may be able to get you what you want. It's the magician energy, and if you look at the rendering, it shows sort of classic magician, the sword or the knife, the pentacle, the cup. This is Javanese, so I very much doubt if he's got a lion skin belt on, but we think of magic as being about ritual, and that's how it's done, and speaking in foreign, maybe ancient tongues, and even dancing under the moonlight naked. But at its heart, it's really about meditation. And as I say, if you meditate, you can get to the bottom of this ancestral karma, and you can change it. I think we can summarise for you, Gemini. Gemini, this is a fascinating spread. I think we might have got to the bottom of your problems. But let me illustrate it with a story about me doing this reading for you. I mean, you will have noticed that my approach to tarot on YouTube isn't the same as everybody else. They're not live readings. I don't show you me doing live readings. And that isn't because I doctor them. I don't doctor them at all. It's just when I first started reading, I didn't have the confidence maybe to do live readings. I do now. It's not a problem. But I've got used to doing it this way, and it distinguishes me from other tarot readers. The fact that I don't get any viewers maybe suggests that I'm doing it the wrong way, but anyway. Doing it this way sometimes means that I get something wrong occasionally. And in particular right now, I got a message, not to buy a new computer, even though this one's no longer supported by Windows. And so when I got back into the mountains and switched on this computer, I found that the keyboard is no longer working. Now, can you imagine trying to do anything without a keyboard? So I'm struggling a bit. So one of the things is I didn't label the photos I'd taken for your tarot reading. And I know I've mixed yours up with Libra. And I didn't change them back. Because I have this view that what will be, will be. And if something like that goes wrong, then actually it was meant to go wrong. And that this reading I've done for you, Gemini, is for you, despite it having, I thought it had been drawn for Libra. And looking at what's here, it is definitely yours. Now, I think that has a profound message for you, because the message is sort of what will be, will be. Follow your heart. And the bigger message is that, what this reading's telling me is that you are suffering. Why things aren't going the way that you would like is you're suffering from intergenerational or ancestral karma. Now, you can try and address that, I say head on. I mean, you can't address it through the head, can you? It's got to be through the heart. But you can address it through sort of magical ways, through trying to understand what this karma is about and thus trying to resolve it. And the best way of doing that would be meditation, but it'll take a long time and a lot of dedication to truly understand it and address it. But I think you probably can manage to do that. But there's an alternative. And this might appeal to you. And that alternative is to be happy and contented in what you've got. Because that will raise your vibration. And in raising your vibration, Allah, God, the universe, your ancestors, whoever you think it is, they will reflect that back to you. So if you think I've got many blessings, you will get many more blessings. And paradoxically, some of those blessings may be the very things that you've been trying to achieve, but seem to be thwarted. So take heed, Gemini.